Hey guys, World Mental Health Day was October 10th, and I said I was going to come out and talk a little bit about it, being that I suffer with bipolar disorder. And I missed my deadline by a couple of days, but I thought it was still important to get out and talk about it. And one of the problems with this, especially this disease, I can't speak on other diseases, but with bipolar disorder, is that by talking about it, you're going to feel better, but even knowing that, it doesn't make you talk about it. And you can have loved ones that understand that, and they can ask you if you're struggling or whatnot, but if you're not ready to talk about it, you're just going to push it away, and the easy thing to do is to go isolate yourself. At least that's what I do. And when you look for support, a lot of people I've found in the past don't necessarily take it as serious, almost gets diluted by the fact that every single celebrity we see that participates or gets caught in some sort of bad behavior, cheating or drugs or, something like that, they are self-diagnosed or diagnosed in the papers as having bipolar disorder. And the truth is that there's less than 5%, actually less than that, I think it's less than 3% of the population that is suffering with bipolar disorder. But if you went by what the papers said, you'd think that half of everyone has it. So when people that actually have it do talk about it, a lot of times they're responded to by people who already have this preconceived notion of what it's all about because of what they've read in the papers about some celebrity's behavior and how they've miraculously been to rehab and recovered. So since they don't have a drug addiction anymore, they're no longer suffering bipolar. Bipolar is a disease. You're not bipolar. It's like if you have cancer, you're not cancer, you have cancer. We have bipolar disorder, and it's manageable, but you have to be proactive. And I used to think that if I watched somebody talking about it, that it would mean they were doing a really good job managing it, and that's not necessarily the case. I wanted to be here 2 days ago talking about this, but I didn't because I was struggling. So even though the timing's off, I'm still here. And the reason I'm saying that is because everybody that you see that has bipolar, they still struggle with it. Taking medication, being diagnosed, it doesn't make it go away. You're still going to have problems. I struggle typically with hypomania, but with COVID, depression's become an issue, and I know that if I'm on top of it, I could disappear for 2 or 3 days at a time. And I guess what I would say to everyone out there is you need to ask for help. Maybe that's joining a group online, maybe that's going to therapy, maybe that's talking to your significant other. Educate yourself, read up on it as much as you can, but also not to do it when other people tell you to do it if you're not ready to. Before I went to therapy, even though I knew that I needed therapy, and my partner at the time also knew that, and she would push me towards it, and I wasn't ready to do it yet. So even though I knew I needed it, I waited, and I think that made a big difference for me. And as diligent as I am about my medication now, and taking steps to do the things that can help keep me in check, whether it's exercising or keeping a schedule, I also know that I'm going to have problems at some point. And having those coping mechanisms in place make so much of a difference, because it's not always the same. Like I said, the depression kind of took me off guard because I hadn't struggled with it before. But as bipolar often does, it kind of pops up at times when you aren't expecting it. So if you take anything from this, it's to take from it that, as cliche as it sounds, you're not alone. And when you're ready to talk about it, when you're ready to address it with somebody other than yourself, because that's important. It's easy to think bipolar is a good liar. You are able to tell yourself that it's something you can manage on your own, that you'll read about. And most people, when they do that, end up self-medicating. and that goes someplace south real quick. So when you're ready, you need to bring somebody else in the equation. It could be a therapist, it could be a friend, it could be your wife, your husband, whatever. But you need to put it out there in the world to somebody, and then there's someone else to help keep you in check when you need it. Otherwise, like, I can promise you, as much as you feel like you're going to be able to take care of it on your own, you can't, and it's going to convince you that you're doing a good job, but you're not. All you're going to do is make things worse, make your life worse, make other people's lives worse, and the scary thing is you're not even going to know until it's too late that you've done it. So stay strong, and there's a community out there, and it's welcoming, and it's good, and it makes a difference.